We're good.
We live?
We
All
are
right.
live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Sunshine Show stream of 2026. I am joined by Plasma Jack, the ever so wonderful Plasma Jack. What's going on?
Woo. Not much, honestly. Had a shitty project at work came up, and I've been basically not required to work, but uh, there's been a lot of pressure to just give up my weekend this week and probably next weekend. And yeah, it's turning me into a straight up socialist.
Are
So
you are you salary?
I am.
Okay.
And I'm not averse to once in a while working late, working a weekend, whatever. Um, Look, there's stuff we don't need to get into right now.
Sure.
I just I'm just getting some shit off my chest. Don't worry about me.
No, I totally
Let's
understand.
let's talk about the real news. Did we just conquer Venezuela? I don't know what's going
Yeah, I'm
on.
going to be investing in Venezuelan real estate for sure. Investing in oil, Venezuelan real estate. I think the exchange rate is like supposedly insane. I read an article that said like Venezuelan government only like they have a special 10-1 ratio that only they get, and then the other people get a like 1200-1. Like I forget what the Venezuelan dollar is. Venezuelan currency. It's like
Shit.
it's like on par with like
Please
loonies and
figure-
toonies. Is it Bolivar? Yeah, Bolivar.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, let's see what the exchange rate is.
Or bolivars or something.
Bolivar. My apologies.
That's all right. I'm looking it up.
300 Bolivar to one US dollar.
Yeah.
So I really want to start investing in like foreign countries that have cheaper
So there's a lot of discussion about that right now, how US equities are so overinflated that like you're and we're not financial advisors, but a
sure.
lot of the vibes seem to be that you're almost guaranteed to get a better rate of return elsewhere because stuff is so hyperinflated right now in the US in terms of like price to earnings ratios and even growth in a lot of scenarios that it's like there's no reasonable way that you can or there's no way you can expect to get a reasonable return on if you're investing in US equities unless this sort of parabolic or exponential growth we've seen continues. And that only makes sense if you think that there's not a bubble in AI. So, long story short, because I know I throw a lot of jargon out there, and most people are probably pretty familiar with it, but if you're not, don't worry about it. Long story short, yeah, it sounds like investing outside the US. I don't want to say it's a good idea, but it's certainly becoming way more popular, and I myself have been considering it. It's tough because it feels like a lot of the countries around the world, it feels like as bad as things are in the US, and things are bad for multiple reasons, but like even
It
just like regarding the currency or like investments, like shit seems to be worse in a lot of other countries. Like
it's
the
crazy
housing
like
market.
yeah, with like the quality of life is higher in some areas where they have a less valuable currency or just like a
Yeah,
smaller GDP, which just
but yeah,
is sorry to keep
it,
cutting you off. I think it's just evidence to show that we misappropriate funds here like
oh yeah, yeah.
so
Well,
poorly.
that's another discussion. I'm speaking strictly in terms of investments. Like
Sure.
we talk about how fucked up the housing market is here.
Right.
Like I think the UK has a better housing market, but I think Australia's is way worse apparently. Like um they have like no hope of getting a house within their lifetime.
Who is this?
Um
Australia?
Australia and then like whatever problem we're having with like job growth for example, some other place where you're thinking of investing is probably having similar issues like inflation, Japan has worse inflation. That's not to say that like
But you can get a beautiful home for like I'm actually looking it up right now. Like I've seen, I keep getting ads because I constantly am looking at houses in Japan. But I think you can get like beautiful homes and like big properties for like $30,000, which is
that
just
would
insane to me.
yeah. Man, what the fuck are we doing? I'm about to turn off the podcast and start shopping Japanese real estate right
Honestly,
now.
literally, like it, and they're like beautiful homes. They're absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. Cause
But
they
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say be wary if you are going to invest in investing in foreign countries because I'm not saying that we have it the worst right now, and I'm not saying everywhere else has it the worst, but like
You need
know
an in.
the
You need
end.
like a property manager, someone reliable, someone who's not
Well,
gonna like.
that and I was gonna say like know what you're investing in first, like know how that industry is doing, because like housing might be really good, like or real estate might be really good to purchase in Japan, but it's probably not in Australia right now, right? Whereas like investing in like financial services, like a firm like that in Japan might not be a good idea because they've been having issues with their currency. So, um, this isn't an investment podcast, but this is like an area of expertise that I have. So while we're on the topic, I just wanted to throw that out there.
We're a variety
Um,
cast for sure. Like I don't want to be
yeah, yeah,
pigeonholed. Like people say that in order to find success on social media, you have to find your niche. Like whether it's
yeah.
gaming, real estate, whatever the case may be. Like if you're gonna like find a subject matter, you're supposed to just stick to it. But I hate that idea. I'd much
Dog, I've been saying this for years. Look, all right. Fans of the Sunshine Show, you're about to hear some laundry get aired out. All right. This mofo's been telling me for 2 months that I need to get a new mic because my audio quality sucks. And I said, no, it's because you're recording it wrong. And I'm not going to say the setup that he had. I'm not going to blast him that hard. But just know that I was right. And he conceded in private that he was right. He said he would fight it on the air, and I'm sure he will. But Plasma Jack is always right. That's what you need to remember. All
I will
right.
give you. I will. I'm a humble individual. I can admit when I'm wrong. Mostly because I think people who don't admit what they're wrong are just dragging on the conversation. But I'm like, yeah, dude, like I was wrong. My bad. We can move on. You know? And then the conversation's over.
Yeah.
But people
I
will
am not a humble person, and so to that I say, in your face, suck my balls. Now we can move on. I just got to put a little cap on it, you know?
if you had a catchphrase, I think it's suck my balls, which is just
Yeah.
amazing.
It's a classic. It works, you know. It falls in and out of favor. It depends, you know. Sometimes people say it too much, but it's my ride or die phrase.
Do you have to be a resident in Japan?
That might be another thing.
I think you have to
Also,
be. Yeah, you have to be a resident.
I also think they don't like.
Oh yes, you can absolutely buy a house. Well, this is the AI review. You can absolutely buy a house or land in Japan as a non-citizen with no restrictions on ownership, but it won't grant you a visa or residency rights. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you could probably it's kind of like how people buy silver on like E-Trade or whatever. It's like you are technically buying a slip of paper that says that you own the silver stored in a vault in Switzerland.
Right.
And
Okay, but you don't actually like touch it, feel it, use it.
yeah, necessarily.
Yeah, so I just got to
But
get.
anyway,
I need a property manager in Venezuela, in Japan. Probably start with Venezuela.
yeah, yeah. So obviously Trump is like doing anything he can to cover up the Epstein files. I didn't expect a full scale assault on a foreign country. But you know, I look. Part of me is like, do we just accept this distraction and like say, oh man, Venezuela, Maduro, like, you know, how could Trump do this and pretend like we've forgotten about the Epstein files? Because if we don't do that, I feel like the next step is like he's going to drop a nuke on North Carolina. Um, you know, to me, to me, the two things are inexorably tied, if that makes sense. And I hope I'm using that word right, inexorably. Um, we talked before the show about topics to talk about today, and I think 3 out of my 5 or 6 topics were about the Epstein files. Because we never talked about that. We never dove into that. Like, this is a whole basket of worms. And by worms, I mean, the pedophiles, they're worms.
It's just because Project 20, like, if Project 2025, and I haven't gone through which points of Project 2025 that we've actually hit, but I remember the main talking point of Project 2025 being that they wanted to just hit so hard and fast and consistent that there was no time to
Flooding the zone,
recoil.
yeah.
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 So it's
That's like a direct quote from Steve Bannon.
it's just, I mean, I'm not sure that we're hitting the marks all that they wanted on Project 2025, but man,
There's a tracker online.
Is there?
Yeah, Project 2025 tracker.org or something. It's alarming how much we've hit, and like, this is the thing, like, I don't think Kamala was like the greatest candidate in the world. I think she would have done good. I think she would have been a good president. But admittedly, when I voted for her, it was kind of like, I don't want Trump to win again,
Which is always what it is.
Think,
It's the greatest of two evils. I mean, South Park already said it was like you're either.
I think I think Kamala would have been better than that. I'm more optimistic than some on certain politicians, but I know some people that like saw Kamala as like.
But she didn't.
Like
she didn't have the backbone I wanted. Not. I mean, obviously, I voted for her. I didn't vote for Trump, but she didn't have the. She wouldn't. She was trying too hard to be moderate, and
yes,
that's
100%.
that's not what we want. Like, we want you to stick to your guns. When I lost faith in her when she said that she conceded and that Israel had a right to defend itself in its genocide of an entire nation. And I was like, if you're not going to be on my side, why am I voting for you? I'm just voting for the more visually attractive candidate.
This is a very tough topic to talk about because I'm not super pro-Israel, but we've had this talk before where I'm like, look, Hamas is a terrorist organization and has been attacking them for years, and I'm not saying Israel's doing everything right, but if nothing else, that should illustrate that there's a difference in information between what you see and what I see. And that probably goes double for congressmen.
Sure.
Especially when it comes to geopolitics.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, like, because, like, most of our government is pretty pro-Israel, left and right.
Right.
And I would imagine
Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has made a complete 180 in the world of politics. Like, who is the new Marjorie Taylor Greene? It's insane.
Yeah, but like I could see a world where they're getting national defense or like what do you call that? Like national security information that we're maybe not privy to. And again, I'm not saying this is good or bad or anything like that, but there might be something in there about, how Mossad is much more of an asset to the U.S. than you or I know. And so they want to keep up relations with Israel a little bit more, right? I can't speak to that. I can understand if you are passionate about the Palestinian cause, that being like a thing that sours you to her a little bit. I completely understand your perspective. But I think that it's not just a simple turd sandwich and giant douche situation. I think she would have been good. Like at least a 6 out of 10, which doesn't say much, but considering Trump has been like literally a 1 or 2 out of 10, I'd say a 2 out of 10. 1 out of 10 for me is actual second Great Depression, and then 0 out of 10 is thermonuclear war. That's just so everyone knows. It's like the Richter scale where everything's like an exponent of the past thing, But look, I think she would have been decent. But my initial thing that I was going to say, and I completely lost track of it, was like, fuck, what was it? Sorry, I was kind of rambling there to try and regain my. This part we gotta snip out.
I will. It's fine.
Let me
We
go.
are
Let me go
live.
to the live. Yeah.
They get the best bits.
I'm just gonna see how many people are watching.
It's all good. That's just like one person on YouTube, one person on Twitch.
Hello, person on
Here's what it is for me. Perhaps I'm too, I don't know, optimistic. But for me, my morals, there's no justification for the death of civilians by any means, and I don't think being struck upon first, so to speak, because it's Israel's right to defend itself, when in fact, like for me, the war between Hamas and Israel starts on October the 7th for most people, and that takes away like the hundreds, thousands of years of history that they have had, not thousands, hundreds of years of history that they've had confrontations.
You're saying that, but literally what I was going to say is Hamas has been attacking Israel for years before October 7th.
Really? So I have a completely different understanding.
Look, I am not going to say that the conditions of Palestine are not fucked up, particularly in the Gaza Strip.
And they were prior. The craziest thing
100%.
Craziest thing is like there was a national food shortage article written on October the 1st, 6 days prior to October the 7th. They were like, yeah, the people here can't afford to eat. And I imagine between the scarcity of food, I don't know if you've seen, but there are like Israeli checkpoints that like Palestinians and have to go through. Like Palestinians would have to go through these Israeli checkpoints at like 4:00 in the morning just to get to work. And all of that is prior to October the 7th. It was already a police state prior to the war.
It was. Here's what I'll say though. What I have learned regarding this conflict is if you look at any of not any of them, but a lot of the negative conditions affected or inflicted upon Gazans, if you like ask the question, like, for example, the food shortages, if you Google, like, has Hamas ever tried to smuggle weapons in food shipments? Like, the answer is going to be yes. Like,
sure.
When we talk about checkpoints, like, I'm not sure how you'd phrase that question, but like you could say, you know, like, has Hamas ever tried to sneak weapons through whatever, like, and I'm not saying that Israel's implementation's perfect and that it's not cruel, which is the key word, because when I say it's not perfect, I understand how that looks like I'm really sweeping for Israel and saying like, oh, well, nobody's perfect. That's not what I'm saying. I get that there is a level of cruelty seemingly in this, but I think a lot of the things that they've done, there's definitely, it's not all without basis, is what I'll say. Like we mentioned when we had our debate, which may or may not have aired in full or ever air in full, we kind of talked about how you said that Israel like shot at some ambulances and they said that they didn't have their lights on, and it turns out they did. I Googled, has Hamas ever tried to sneak weapons or soldiers in through ambulances? And like the first thing was like, yep, like a couple months prior, that's literally what they did.
But my issue is like you don't have. The problem is same with politics. The same with these wars is people pick a side and then they defend that side. You can denounce both sides, and my
Absolutely.
empathy lies with the people of Palestine. That's it. I don't care about Hamas. I would never defend Hamas, even though supposedly they started off as like these freedom fighters, but then just like
so
grew
here's
more
where
and more
I'll
corrupt.
counter that really quickly is I think that you do, like, I think what you're saying is mostly true, but how often have you placed the blame on the conditions in Gaza on Hamas as being
See,
that?
now
Like,
my problem with that there is that Hamas was established like in the 90s, and when was the Nakba? Wasn't the Nakba much earlier? If I'm not mistaken,
know. I don't go back that far.
there was already Israel police state before Hamas's inception. And
Yeah, maybe.
yes,
I don't know. But when we talk about like, anytime we talked about like the ambulances or the hospitals being blown up or whatever, it's always the way that you talk about it seems to imply that the blame is strictly on Israel rather than like I feel for the Gaza
but
civilians
it's
as
like a
well.
gun and a sword fight. Like if you're, for example, if you're gonna stop a confrontation, you see a confrontation, and for whatever reason you're bulletproof, and you see someone has a gun and someone has a sword or a knife or whatever the case may be. Or let's at this point, it's a jet engine versus a knife fight. I I don't. My
The
morals,
problem is that the guy with the knife has a hostage.
but
And it's not necessarily a hostage from the jet engine side or the gun side, however we're doing this analogy.
fair.
It
Okay.
could be his own sister. Like, you get what I'm saying? And
But that's not why they're the hostage isn't the hostage might be a catalyst from the confrontation, but I don't think it is it's like murder versus hostage for me. And my morals are very simplistic. It's I don't support the death of civilians. That's as far as it goes. I don't support the death of civilians in any way, shape, or form. So on October the 7th, when Hamas carried out the murder of all of those people, I think it was like
Yeah.
1,000 folks who were attending a music festival. That's obviously detestable, and people should denounce that. In the same breath, people need to be able to denounce the bombing of journalists, the bombing of hospitals, like
Yeah.
like hundreds of dead journalists, hundreds
Yeah.
of bomb hospitals. We don't have to pick a side. We can just say what's right and what's wrong. You don't need
Right.
to defend either side. You can denounce both sides. Both
Well,
sides are
so
in the
here-
wrong. I think one is
here's what I'll
just
say
way
to that
more
is
egregious.
when you say you don't have to defend one side, that inherently what you're doing intentionally or not is stripping nuance out of the situation, right? What you're saying is when you don't have to defend one side, you're saying that one side is objectively evil, which is not even what I think you're trying to say, but like there's probably like there is a world where something that Hamas has done has probably been good for the Palestinian people. Otherwise, I don't think they would have been elected at some point. That's not to say that Hamas is a good organization or that it's a few bad apples, but like there we should be honest about both sides and say, you know,
But then you have to
where
encompass their entire history. The Nakba took place in 1948 and displaced like 800,000 Palestinians. I'm reading it right now. Zionist militias and new Israeli army carried out deliberate and systematic expulsions of Palestinians from hundreds of villages. And this is 1947 and 1949. So like this is an age-old conflict. And you're right, there's definitely a nuance to it. But for me, just stop the murder of civilians. If you're gonna be at war, you can be at war with Hamas all day long and try to justify why it is that you think it's okay to murder. I don't think murder in itself is right in any way, shape, or form. But I'm it's a foreign conflict and it has nothing to do with me. So I'm not gonna share my opinion on who I think is in the right.
except you have been this entire time because again, remember I asked you one time.
I didn't
said,
finish. I meant
imagine-
under the guise of the conflict between in the political atmosphere, like whether Israel thinks that they're entitled to the land that the Palestinians live on, or whether like that's irrelevant to me. My morals are very clear. I don't want the death of civilians on either side. So is October the 7th wrong? Absolutely. Is the continued destruction of an entire country under the guise that you are defending yourself, is that acceptable to me? Absolutely not. And I don't agree with one civilian death. If there is any type of insurgency, if there's any type of political movement and there's civilian death caused, I'm just an empathetic person and I put my family in the situation. I put myself in this situation, and I say, hey, this had nothing to do with us, and you just involved us, me and my family, and
So
now I have dead
if
family
there
members.
were any civilian deaths in any of the Ukraine strikes, um, like what would you say to that?
That's a little bit different because it's my understanding that Russia is invading Ukraine. So like they're in Kiev. They're in like the heart of Ukraine.
Ukraine's made strikes into Russia too, though.
And I would denounce those if I was aware of what they were. Absolutely. That like I don't think that's okay. I don't think tit for tat is a good means of politicking. I think most wars are ended in treaties, except for the Venezuelan, which ends in the kidnapping of the
See, but
president.
yeah, but see, treaties usually happen
After violence.
oftentimes after surrender.
Sure, sure, but there's also treaties that happen after a stalemate, after just like
Yeah,
continued
yeah.
mutual destruction. And
But
if you're
yeah,
going
that
to
could be worse.
here's it bro, we live in 2026. Like people have morals, like we all know right from wrong. And
Not
the death
everyone, apparently.
true, I guess that's
Look at
fair.
the fucking president, bro.
But and we'll get to Venezuela in a second. But what I'm getting at is that you just murder is wrong, and that's obvious. Like you shouldn't murder.
Yeah.
It's
All right. We'll cap it at that because I remember what I was saying about Kamala Harris.
okay.
Um, so when we were talking about the Project 2025, like that was one of the points that she brought up in debates was like, she's like, look, I've read Project 2025. I've been a federal prosecutor for years. This has Donald Trump's DNA all over it, regardless of what he says. He's doing Project 2025 when he gets into office,
Absolutely.
and
Leaving who?
that's exactly what's happened.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm just like reading things that have been successful. Leaving the World Health Organization is crazy, and I thought like the destruction of the Green New Deal was already bad, but now
Yeah, pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal was in there. I'm pretty sure.
with no contingencies, like ending
Yeah.
Obamacare without a contingency, even though he's been saying
Yeah.
since 2016 that he had a great health care plan, and we still have
Well,
yet
remember
to see
they had a concept of ideas or ideas of a concept for a replacement.
No,
for Obamacare.
there's recorded footage of him saying that they have a completed plan and that it is better than Obamacare in his first run. When was it? 2016, 2018, whenever he was
And
president.
then when anyone asked him about the specifics, he didn't have any.
Exactly.
Um,
Typical.
but yeah, and that's when someone asked him, they're like, "Do you actually have a plan?" And he says, "Well, we have ideas of a concept or
Right.
something like that."
We have concepts of a plan.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean the Venezuela thing, it's cover up for the Epstein files, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so for anyone who's somehow unaware, I hate to say kidnapped, but we invaded Venezuela. We captured Maduro, who was a corrupt he was a corrupt dictator of Venezuela. No one likes Maduro. No one's on Maduro's side. The right seems to be painting.
When they like, because you saw they used the toppling of Saddam Hussein's statue to equate to what they just did in Venezuela.
Yeah.
From Venezuelans that I have spoken to, they do seem universally happy about this because Maduro was starving his people in what's crazy is one of the wealthiest countries in terms of natural resources. They have the most gold, if I'm not mistaken. I know they have the most oil. They have the biggest oil deposit.
Yeah.
But I think they have the most gold as well.
They probably have a lot of minerals. And South America is ripe with like copper, gold, and silver, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, what's so funny? Well, so on that note, people have equated it to Saddam Hussein, and the reason why is because Saddam Hussein was also a bad guy. Does that mean that the Iraq War should have happened? Probably not, right? there's a lot of parallels here. A lot of people said Bush did it for oil. Donald Trump said himself that they kind of did it for oil with Venezuela. But the
He came
people
out and
cheered
clearly
when
said it. He's
Saddam.
like, "Oh, this is for oil." Like we
Yeah,
arrested
yeah,
him on the grounds of saying that they had machine guns, which is crazy to go to a foreign country and arrest their leader
yeah,
because they
yes.
have
We
machine
were
guns.
we're arresting him as for violating a U.S. law, even though I don't know if the violation occurred on U.S. soil, but it sounds like the way people are talking about it, we basically just arrested him, air quotes around that, for breaking laws that don't apply to him because he's in another country, which is wild. But look, again, Maduro probably, I shouldn't say probably, he's a bad guy from everything I've heard. So it's a good thing that he's off the streets. The problems that I see are that one, there's the whole Western imperialism thing or the American imperialism thing, and Donald Trump was openly saying like, "Oh, we're gonna put in our guys, some guys that we like." And then someone asked like, "Are you gonna put in the lady that actually won the election against Maduro that he like kept out of power?"
I think she
Because
won the
now
Nobel Peace Prize.
she doesn't have enough respect. The people don't respect her. We're gonna put someone in that they actually respect. And it's like they elected her. Not only did she win the Nobel Peace Prize, she said she would give it to Donald Trump like honorarily. She volunteered to give Trump her Peace Prize, and now he invades the country and then says she can't, they're not gonna put her in power, which
Which
is
is
fucking
absolutely
crazy.
insane, dude. So now that we're in the Venezuelan war, let's really get into it. So what are your I'm gonna discuss my
Here's my take. I don't know too much about what's going on or the implications. I'm kind of still shell shocked,
It
but
came out of nowhere. It was
it
so
reminds me.
fast. I
Yeah,
was told, hey, we're invading Venezuela, and I was like, oh yeah. No, here's how it was presented to me. Hey, we're going to war with Venezuela. I was like, oh really? When? And then it's over.
yeah.
Which
Um,
was efficient. That's awesome. Like if you're gonna do it,
here, here's my feelings summarized very well from TV. Do you watch Always Sunny?
of course.
There was an episode, I don't know what episode, but there's a scene where Charlie is burning garbage and Dennis and Mac are like, "Dude, what are you doing? Why are you burning trash?" He's like, "Oh, I'm burning the trash because once you burn the trash, it goes up into the sky and becomes stars." And Mac goes, "I know he's wrong, but I don't know enough to tell him why he's wrong." That's that's how I feel right now is like I feel like this is very, very, very bad, but I don't know enough to say why.
All right, here's
Like,
my reasoning as to why I believe it's bad. I
yeah,
do not agree with Maduro, and after speaking with my Venezuelan friends who have family members in Venezuela currently who have been starving, and those people are excited to see a regime change because he keeps it like I think it was released he won like 34 or 40 million people voted in the last election, and they were like, yeah, that's not true, and they don't think he actually won, kind of like
yeah,
Alexander Lukashenkov. But I so like already I dislike him for that. I dislike the way he presents himself, the way he carries himself is all bad, blah blah yada yada yada.
yeah, yeah,
For us, my issue is the president going above Congress to like strike a foreign country, to attack foreign lands successfully. I will give him that
yeah,
successfully. Respect to you,
yeah,
kiss the ring. But if you're the whole purpose of checks and balances is to ensure that there aren't these radical authoritarian movements in our government. And this can
yeah,
have long-standing negative political repercussions with other
yeah.
onlooking countries or with the Venezuelan people themselves, you know. But I mean, as of
Yeah,
right now, we own Venezuela, and I'm assuming the price of gas is going to go down. So
yeah. I wonder because we don't have a pipeline that stretches all the way from Venezuela to the U.S.
Well, I think
So
they ship a lot of it.
yeah, I just like I wonder how effective that is versus a pipeline. I have no
True.
doubt that that's what's going to happen, but apparently a lot of the refineries are pretty dated. And like, okay, we're going to have American companies building refineries. Like, maybe that's okay. Again, I see a world where Venezuelan people see American companies building refineries in their country. They're not getting a piece of the pie, and we end up fostering Venezuelan terrorists or something. Like this is kind of a story that's happened before. Like the U.S. invades a place, and then we put in a puppet, and then it fosters resentment, and we end up getting people from that country or region that are very pissed off with us. You know.
Right. I was thinking about this the other
Um,
day. I was like, a lot of the terrorist attacks on America, they don't come out of nowhere. I'm not saying they're
yeah.
justified by any means, obviously, but I don't think people hate America just for no reason. I think it has to do with the annexing of countries.
Yeah, and extraction of resources,
Sure.
and I hate when certain people use the phrase American imperialism because it sounds like such a detached academic word for something that is
Simple.
that, and like you hear about like institutional racism, which I think is a very real thing for the record, but like it's such a sterile phrase that I think it kind of
It's lost its
detracts from the
value.
meaning.
It's lost its meaning. I think xenophobia is more descriptive as to what a lot of people just don't like strangers. And if you're used to growing up a
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
type of way, I think people just will denounce. People will have
But I,
a. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying that there's sociological terms that I think strip away, or they people use these sociological terms. They talk about hegemonies and hierarchies and shit like that. When like the average person just wants to, they kind of just want those spark notes, like this is bad and this is why, right?
Sure.
And the history is America, and this has happened with other countries too. We invade a place, we knock out whoever's in power, we install our own military for a little while to monitor things, and then we withdraw suddenly. Everything collapses, and people start trying to put bombs in their underwear and shoes and shit. And that's like, that's a very common thing.
And you're right.
And it's,
Historically, it has had negative effects. Although I feel like that is easily debated. People just will dress you up as a not like a schizophrenic, just someone who's nervous or someone who's like why you can't predict the future, despite the fact that you're using history. So that's why I try to stay in the realms of what's happening now and why it is I think
yeah.
currently what is wrong. I think why, but that's why I'm just upset with the fact that we went over the head of Congress and try to keep it in the realms of
Yeah.
it without being not skeptical, but without being like negative, without being
To quote my Lord and Savior Destiny, it's a continuous corrosion of democracy.
yes,
Um,
absolutely,
Everything Trump does chips away at democratic norms.
and
And it's
normalizes the the authoritarian regime as being just like the
yeah.
normal way of thinking. Like even when we were
Eh,
speaking with Mr. Chaos last time, and we had to tell him, yeah, your vote does matter. I like that's what a conversation we keep having is like, yo,
yeah.
you thinking your vote doesn't matter is playing into what they want you to believe is that your
A
voice is
hundred
irrelevant.
percent. And this is my fear for the midterms is I am so worried that people on the left are going to think to themselves, There's no way that Democrats don't sweep the midterms and then they stay inside and they don't go out and vote. People, if anyone listens to this before the midterms, for the love of God, please go out and vote. No matter what the news is saying, go out and vote because they will tell you that the polls say that the Democrats are going to win by 97%. And you're going to go, oh, cool. I don't need to vote that day then. And
Right.
then everything's going to say exactly the fucking same. There's one side that's consistently telling people not to vote. You'll never guess which side it is. Um, the other side's always telling people to vote because they know that the majority of people will probably come to their senses and educate themselves. And look, uh, I'm rambling here because this is kind of you hit a nerve.
It's a touchy
Or I hit a
subject,
nerve.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
difficult because the difficulty is we're not. I mean, the midterms were obviously we're heavily invested, but in terms of Venezuela, it's like, I feel like Venezuela was only just recently added to my radar. Like I was always aware of like Maduro's corruption, but I never
Yeah.
expected us to replace him with ourselves as leaders of Venezuela. I didn't think
Yeah.
Venezuela was going to be the 51st state, and then Greenland being
And
the
then
52nd.
and then immediately Marco Rubio says Cuba better be worried. And what was the other one? There was another country that either Trump or Rubio implied was next on the list.
I think it was
It was
Greenland.
Cuba. Well, Greenland was initial. That was way back when. We're well past that, pal. It was another
I think he just
Caribbean
said
or
it like yesterday, is why I'm bringing it up.
Oh, did he really? He's back on Greenland now. Jesus Christ. Venezuela, Cuba. I'm about to look this up. There was another country. Cuba and I don't think it was Haiti. It was somewhere else. Um, yeah, I'll have to. Oh, Colombia. That's who it was. Um, some like Marco Rubio's like, oh, the
He said this
Prime
yesterday. We
Minister of
do need
Colombia.
Greenland. Absolutely, we need it for defense.
Yeah, and Marco Rubio, but basically he was like, yeah, we got Maduro in one fell swoop. If I was the leader of Cuba or Colombia, I would be really worried right now. Like, Jesus Christ, guys, come on,
Glad I'm on
can
this
we
side,
not?
dude. Glad I'm on this side.
And then the prime minister or whatever of Colombia came out and said, "I'm not going to let a bunch of U.S. pedophiles invade us."
That's hilarious. That's
But
super
yeah,
awesome.
I think this is tied to the Epstein files, man. So I've never been a huge conspiracy theorist regarding the Epstein files because we never got a chance to talk about that. By the way, I'm pretty sure since they uploaded their things, like the first batch, it was redacted to hell. We never got a chance to talk about how people found that you could just copy the
I love
words.
the internet. You could just copy the words underneath the redacted information because they
Do you know
used
why that
highlight
is?
in PDF. Or yeah, they used Adobe Acrobat and used the highlight tool.
Because Elon Musk cut all the Adobe Pro subscriptions. So they had the
Right.
basic redaction.
That's what it was. You're absolutely
So
right.
it's their own fucking stupidity. Elon Musk cut the subscriptions for Adobe Pro so they had the basic redaction software so that's why people were able to just copy the text underneath the redaction
So glad that
and
we
figure out what was there.
let Doge run the country for those first like 6 months, and
Ah,
then had a
fucking-
higher budget this year than we did last year at the same time.
Yeah. But yeah, I've never been a believer that like Epstein just had like a black book of like all the people he served and was blackmailing them and blah
Right, it
blah
would be
blah.
too
But
simple.
Everything that Donald Trump does around the Epstein files makes it seem more and more like he did. That's the crazy
Because
part.
he ran
And
under in his campaign, he said he would release him like day one, and then as soon as he was elected, he was like, "Oh, we don't want to hurt anyone."
why are we still talking about this Epstein guy? The guy that won't die.
Right.
Ironically, that was the first thing that pissed people off was that he was possibly murdered under Donald Trump's watch, by the way. People were accusing Hillary Clinton at the time. Donald Trump was president when Epstein died mysteriously.
My favorite part is
He was in charge of the federal prison system.
my favorite moment in all of this has been Cash Patel and Joe Rogan, like just getting mauled by the imp, the monkey that is Joe Rogan, who knew more than the head of the FBI about the
Yeah.
Epstein murder, about how the part of his spine was broken, and that's more consistent with strangling as opposed to someone who tries to
Yeah.
hang themselves, or the fact that his bunkmate was like a four times he was like a cop that had murdered four people.
Jesus.
Have you ever seen that guy?
No, I did not.
Epstein bunkmate.
Oh. Yeah, I mean it's embarrassing like all these fucking clowns. Because it's not just Trump. It's Stephen Miller, it's fucking Pam Bondi, it's whatever the lady is Trump's like press secretary or whatever, which by the way, props to her for being able to just get up and lie and do it like convinced. Caroline Levitt, I want to say. I don't know if you remember during the first Trump administration, they cycled through like so many fucking press secretaries. At one point, it was I don't know if the Mooch was going to be the press secretary, but there was that other guy, Scott something. He was on Colbert.
Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer,
The
Spice
Spicer.
Man.
The Spice Man.
Oh Christ. Yeah, so yeah, it's a clown show. It's a fucking circus. And we all want to see one act and they keep teasing us. They're trying to bring out the elephants and the monkeys and the whatever and we just want to see the amazing pedophile man.
And it's so obvious because in our faces, they redacted the entirety of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. And
Yeah.
now she's like in some cushy like celebrity prison where she has a dog, you know? And this
Yeah.
is currently alive and that we know of the most successful child trafficker like in existence in
Yeah.
recorded human history. This woman,
Well,
whether she engaged in the acts or not with Epstein, she was the recruiter. She put
Yeah.
these these young girls in these compromising situations with adult men and is
Well,
now being
so-
let off scot-free.
One of the things that's come out in the Epstein files, in the heavily redacted Epstein files, was again, for anyone who somehow doesn't know, the FBI accidentally or perhaps someone intentionally uploaded a second batch and it wasn't searchable. But CoffeeZilla, I think, was the first one who figured
It was
and
him
his
in
team
another
figured out-
group.
Yeah, they downloaded all the second batch of files pre, like I don't know if pre-redaction, but they
I'm
weren't
pretty
ready to
sure
be
they just
released.
like they had released up to page 7 and they were just like, "Yo, let me try page 8," and that's how it worked.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm not mistaken, they just changed the number in the headline to get to the 8th page.
Yes.
And though it wasn't publicly released, they were able to see everything. And then once going through it, they were able to see that they were able to look at things
a
that
lot
should have
more.
been
And one of
redacted.
the things that came out was that Mar-a-Lago was actually like a source. It was basically a funnel to Epstein. So
What?
calling Ghislaine a recruiter may not be accurate. Trump may have been even more of a recruiter than Ghislaine. Maybe not directly, but basically they developed a pipeline between Mar-a-Lago and Epstein's island where and that Trump admitted that the one girl He said his fight with Jeffrey Epstein was because Jeffrey Epstein hired the 15-year-old masseuse Trump had working at Mar-a-Lago. Um, but yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's seeming like he was way more. He might be more involved than even I had given him credit because I was like, yeah, he definitely touched on some kids,
And then
but
let's be honest, the
uh,
main reason that I feel like there's this desire for everyone has like this underlying desire for Trump to be in the Epstein files because it's something that's like irrefutable, and that it's like there's no defending those actions. Whereas a lot of these actions that he has taken, though people may disagree on them, it's something that just happens. You know, when he overturned Roe v. Wade and made like abortions illegal, like no matter
you,
what your stance was on it, like he did it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I
The
think you're sort of right in that, like, I work with some guys that, are very pro-Trump, and it's like, you can lay out the facts for them and say, like, see, he's destroying democracy, and they'll defend it. And then when you say, okay, do you think it was okay that he was like molesting 14 and 15-year-olds?
right,
They like seize up. And
exactly.
it's like, look, if that's what it takes to get through to you, sure. Like, again, we kind of knew this from the get-go. We knew he was friends before he was elected the first time. We knew he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. We knew that he didn't care about women. He said you can grab him by the pussy. Like, this is all kind of old hat by now. We knew all this stuff. Sorry, you might have to censor that word. Um, I didn't mean to get so presidential on the stream,
Do what you gotta
but
do.
yeah, yeah, like, yeah, I get what you're saying. And like, but to be fair, I also don't want a pedophile to be president. I don't think that's an unfair ask either. I'm not. I'm not hoping he's in the Epstein files. It's just like it's becoming more obvious. I thought, in all honesty, he wasn't going to be in them that much. And then when he was the one that went, Jeffrey Epstein, why are we still talking about this guy? That's when I was like, oh shit, he's in them and he knows it.
Right. It was like
Even when
you're only 6 months into your presidency in the campaign where you ran on like releasing them, and now you're pretending that it's all this Democratic hoax. Like that's so crazy. It
Yeah.
was part of your campaign, Broseph.
Yeah. And it's funny because like people on I really appreciate this, the left wingers that are left on Twitter. God bless your souls. They are combating the misinformation left and right. So one of the talking points that the right had was like, oh, if Trump was in the Epstein files, why didn't the Democrats release them? And the Dems on Twitter have woken up and pointed out that the investigation was still ongoing under Biden's admin. And so he actually couldn't legally release the files because the president doesn't have the ability to just unilaterally do that. We act like he does because Trump does that shit, but that's not normal. Biden was actually following the procedures and respecting the investigation taking place. So, but yeah, dude, I think the president's a pedophile, and I think he blew up Venezuela to cover for himself. And I can't see the two as separate issues anymore. Look, I'm happy for the Venezuelan people, I guess. I am fearful of what happens after this, but I
Invest in
think Donald
Venezuelan
Trump's
real
trying to
estate.
cover up that he molested kids.
Dude, you can get this house in Venezuela for 80 grand. 5 bedrooms,
I'm
five
looking. It does
baths.
look beautiful. It looks like a fucking drug dealer villa from the pictures. Um,
This is
yeah, I like we had something else that was on the docket that I wanted to talk about, but I can't shake the fact that the president was possibly part of one of the most prolific human trafficking operations in
You said
human
Jack
history.
Smith.
Oh, Jack Smith. Well, before that, so here's the other thing I wanted to cover really quickly. You said you were like, you're kind of worried or whatever. You're feeling like maybe a lot of people are really eager to look at the Epstein files because they think Trump's in it and that it's like an irrefutable thing. Um, I have gotten to a point where when I talk to someone who's on the right and I bring up the Epstein files and they start trying to defend it, I start to look at them weird. Like I'm past the point of like, oh, this is a debate, you know? Kind of like you are with the Gaza thing and genocide. I'm like, how can you even debate this? Like, I don't have kids, but I'm not fucking letting you watch them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
that's
in under what
it's getting
context?
creepy.
In my
Joe
defensive,
Rogan, if you're listening, if you're still defending Trump, it's fucking weird, dude.
I feel like I'm justified in my defense of the Palestinian people. Again, I find I have to mention the distinction between Palestinians and Hamas. The average
Yeah.
age in Palestine is 21. Most of these kids weren't around for Hamas's inception, let alone have any influence on how they run Palestine. They're they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's either
Yeah.
Hamas, the terrorist organization, or Israel, the genocidal maniacs that will shoot up ambulances and blow up hospitals. So, like, again,
And I
my empathy is for the plight of the Palestinian and for them alone.
yeah, yeah.
Those children who are suffering unnecessarily. That's where that's what the hill I'll choose to die on.
Speaking of children suffering unnecessarily, I think Donald Trump's a
$23,000.
pedophile.
Is this 500 square feet? Oh my god, dude!
You just completely talked over my bit. And
I'm
I'm
so sorry.
low-key.
Say it again.
I said, speaking of children suffering unnecessarily, I think Donald Trump's a pedophile.
Allegedly.
God damn it, you ruined it.
No, it was still good. It was even better the second time.
No,
It's
no,
it
no. Get off
the
the fucking Zillow or whatever.
the problem is it's the it seems to be the one thing that could disrupt the momentum towards authoritarianism right now is if that is released and he is implicated. If he's compromised in the Epstein files, I think that is the only means of disrupting the Project
It
2025
might
wave.
be. Imagine that the U.S. is saved by sexual, like human trafficking. That might be the strangest thing I've ever heard.
But then what is it?
Um,
What does the Venezuelan takeover mean for us as Americans? Cheaper oil.
Maybe. I mean, that's not gonna be like it takes a while to build a refinery, so it's not like it's gonna be cheaper oil tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I think we're just going to use
Um,
theirs, which are now ours.
Yeah, but again, the American oil companies have said like their technology is out of date. Like they want to build new refineries. So I don't think it's going to be like we just start sending barrels up here. Maybe it is, but I don't think
Sure, but at the
that's
very least, we do have like the largest oil deposit like in the world now under our domain.
assuming we can keep it, which means that we either have to send US troops to enforce that, which is going to be yet another quagmire of that's going to be Iraq war equivalent, or we don't send U.S. troops down and the Venezuelan people just elect whoever the fuck they want, like they were trying to do in the first place. So I feel like this is not to say a nothing burger, but I don't think it's going to have a tangible impact.
Right. That's
on,
that's the other aspect of it. It's like, it doesn't. It in terms of headlines, it seems crazy on the surface, but then at the end of the day, it's like, what does it matter? What does it
Yeah.
matter really? There's no, unless there is a country that like seeks vengeance or something to that effect. Not that, and I think anyone
Yeah.
would dare do that. I don't see many repercussions.
Yeah, what I foresee is we either put U.S. boots on the ground and then there's some sort of rebel faction that forms or whatever, where they're trying to take back their own government. And
I
that's
don't think he has a
when
lot of
they
support, though. I really don't think Maduro has a lot of support.
no, no, no. But if we try to put in a U.S. puppet, instead
Okay.
of the lady who was elected
Right.
to take
Okay.
over,
Fair enough. I'm just saying,
like you get
I am more
calling it a
fearful.
rebel faction makes it sound like Star Wars, but I'm just saying like
I'm
this is
more.
like a class. This happens all the time, and if that happens, if some sort of rebellion starts, they're going to be funded by probably a lot of the local South American countries who also don't want us treading on their fucking sovereignty. So that's my guess. Looking
I'm
into my
more
crystal
fearful
ball,
of China invading Taiwan and the repercussions from that than I am
that's the other thing. It sends
from the
such a bad
repercussions.
fucking message. Like one of the biggest reasons we were pissed about Russia Ukraine was because it sends a bad message. Like
Oh,
the
you can
whole
just do
thing was
this.
we were living in this dream that we were like now that everyone has nukes, it's mutually assured destruction. Nuclear superpowers no longer invade other countries. Like
Right.
what you have is what you keep, and that's it.
And now
And
all
then
of them are. And now
yeah,
all of them are. China's next on
exactly,
the list. Like it's China's turn.
exactly,
It's genuinely their next
exactly.
turn on the monkey bars.
And they were literally they negotiated with the U.S. and one of the ways that we were going to try to bring down the tension was we said we'll stop supplying Taiwan with military equipment.
Yeah.
We
Hush
finalized
hush.
the sale of 120 billion of military equipment to them like the day before the Venezuelan strikes. So like we're just driving the tension way up. Like China's pissed at us
We
right
are playing.
now.
It does seem that we're playing both sides of the aisle, which is kind of fun. Because I.
Except it's not even both sides. It's just us pissing off China. We're
Oh
just
well,
kicking
that's
the
for sure.
hornet's nest.
That's fair. I
Because
thought.
it's not even like we said we're not going to stop sending the It's like we just lied, and then like that's just going to piss them off more than if we just said, yeah, we're going to keep selling them military equipment.
I'm
Like
gonna.
what?
I'm gonna explain why the invasion would be so bad. Okay. If you're not aware, people of the world, here I'm gonna look you in the eye, people of the world. If you don't know this, Taiwan has the best manufacturer for graphics cards, which is something I care about. Uh,
Not just graphics cards, semiconductors.
of course, of course. But I'm just speaking like in
Yeah,
layman's
yeah.
terms. But so Taiwan produces the best semiconductors, the best graphics cards in the
The
world.
best computer chips.
Absolutely,
Period.
which are used by Nvidia. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but there's rumors that Nvidia is going to up the price of their newest graphics cards from the previous 1,000 to about $5,000 per graphics card, which will just absolutely just paywall society. Like you're now investing in your computer.
That's
It's
partly because they don't even want to make consumer
No,
graphics
they don't
cards
want to. They
anymore.
want to just focus on the
AI chips.
Exactly. They only want to. They don't care. They've already made their money with these plans, and now they just
Yeah.
have to fund. They don't care about the consumer now. The general consumer isn't even part of the budget. It doesn't matter if you go and purchase a graphics card. It has no effect on Nvidia. Nvidia's making money with these AI booms.
Yeah.
That's where their money is right now. So if anything, any graphics card they sell to the general consumer is taking away graphics cards or whatever the case may be, super semiconductors that could be spent in OpenAI in these Oracle data centers. So if Taiwan is invaded by China, oh my gosh, the disruption to the market would be nuclear. It would be absolutely
Um,
insane.
Not just the disruption on the market. Yeah. So to simplify even more, it would be bad for China to invade Taiwan because any computer, any phone, any your iPhone, your Android, whatever, they depend on chips that come out of Taiwan. If China controls Taiwan, they can say no selling chips to the US.
Right.
That means your phone, your computer, the military's guided missiles, and fucking nuclear submarines no longer can get new chips. Taiwan is the epicenter of basically all of our current technology and future technology, conceivably. Um, we're trying to get more semiconductor manufacturing in the US. We've been throwing money at Intel. They have not been doing a good job using it. As of right now, Taiwan is the only place that can make these chips. And if China gets a hold of them, they can box the US out of any basically computers in the foreseeable future. Um, you can kiss your iPhone 17 goodbye or whatever the fuck they're up to now. I don't
Which
know.
is
I'm not an
why
iPhone guy.
your safest bet is to invest in Google. Invest in Google because they don't
Google
use.
might not have the chips if China
I
invades
thought they were
Taiwan.
using their own. What's the chips they use? I thought they invented their own chip.
Any company using any modern chip, it typically relies on 3 nanometer
The TPUs.
TPUs.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that 3 nanometer chips.
Oh no, they're manufactured in Taiwan too.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Any advanced computer chip is made exclusively in Taiwan as of right now. We're trying to build U.S. facilities, but it's not going great. And so again, he who controls it's like Lord of the Rings, the One Ring. Taiwan is the One Ring. He who controls the ring controls the world, or whatever. Fucking I don't know if that's Star Wars or what. But that's the idea. Taiwan, the small little country out in the Pacific, is potentially the key to all future warfare and consumer electronics.
Dude, I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
Yeah, and so
2026 China's invading Taiwan. I'm calling it. I'm put it.
The other thing
Go on
was
Kalshi,
that
go to your local prediction market and put it down.
Venezuela, the president had just met with Chinese dignitaries
like
hours
days
before.
prior. Like
Hours
hours
prior.
prior. That's so crazy.
If this operation had gone wrong and we had accidentally killed a Chinese dignitary, it would literally be World War III right now.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's another reason why this was probably bad.
They were there, if I'm not mistaken. They were
Yeah.
Chinese associates like in Venezuela at the time.
Yeah. So, again, Charlie Kelly, burning trash. It becomes the stars. I don't know enough to tell you why this is all so wrong, but I just have a gut feeling that it's really, really bad. Or at least it's certainly not as good as the right wing is making it out to be. And, the spectacle of it makes me think that it's a cover up for the Epstein files more than anything. Congrats to the Venezuelan people on not having Maduro there anymore. I hope that this pans out in your favor. I'm not going to say I'm optimistic, but I hope that it happens for you. I really do.
Can I tell you what really scares me?
What's that?
So, how far do you think China is from DC?
6,000 miles.
Very close.
No. From DC. Hold on.
Very close.
Really?
Very close.
How much was it?
7,000.
Really? Okay. So I was gonna say it's like 3,000 across the Pacific. Yeah, that makes sense. Probably 4,000 across the Pacific, and then 3,000 from like LA to DC.
How far do you think Hawaii is from China?
Oh, 2,000 or 3,000 tops.
5,000 miles.
5,000, really that far?
We are. Hawaii, where I live, is the.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be the first.
Dude, I'm closest to all of our adversaries, all of our ops.
Yeah. Well, how far is Taiwan from China? I want to say like 200 miles.
Oh, sure. I think China invades Taiwan before, goes to war with us. So I have a little, but I mean,
but once they have Taiwan, they're just gonna put a stranglehold on computer chips until ours wear down, and then we're fucked. But yeah, oh God, this is another developing story, complex issue. Um, yeah, moving on to lighter news. On New Year's Eve, the White House dropped footage from Jack Smith's deposition or something.
His
I don't know if he was
testimony.
deposed or what. His testimony about the cases that he had against Donald Trump for the
January
insurrection
6th.
and the files. He felt that he had enough to convict Donald Trump on both cases, and he felt that he had enough evidence to prove that Donald Trump started, fueled, and failed to stop the insurrection.
And directly
Which
gained
is
from it.
Yeah, which is probably treason. I don't know if that would rise the level of treason, but oh my God. He talked about it confidently, and that's like again, the White House released it on New Year's Eve. This is apparently a thing that they've done many times. Is anytime they want to sweep a story under the rug, they release something on New Year's Eve because people will hopefully forget about it. Um, and Jack Smith, the bombshell was that Jack Smith was like, "Oh yeah, I would have had him in prison, basically."
Where's your number one intake for news? I've been using Grounded lately.
I have not, or I should say, I don't use Ground. We shouldn't say that until we get a sponsor, bro.
Fair enough.
Um,
Well, I mean, they gotta sell it to us. We're the commodity. Who gives a shit about them? People come to see us. They're not going there.
True, true. Now I have a variety of news sources. Sometimes it's a lot of different YouTube channels. I'll say that. But
You,
I get the stray articles from CNN, MSNBC, whatever. I'm a lefty. Sue me.
did you see? Did
Uh,
you look at your YouTube recap? Did you see who your most watched YouTuber
I
was?
did. I did. You'll never guess.
Ah, you'll never guess mine.
Hassan, number one.
No. Who? You. We'll go at the same time. Ready?
All right. Yeah. How do I access my YouTube
No, we'll just
2025
count it down and
recap?
just say the person's name. Ready?
Hold on. Hold on. I want to see if I can say it. YouTube recap. Can I still see it? There's got to be a way to see it still.
I don't know. Might have. Under the U tab, accessible mobile.
I think that's on your phone. Or
Check out
whatever.
your
I'm trying to find
YouTube
my
recap.
phone.
Oh, hope we don't get copyright strike for that.
We're gonna do a 3, 2, 1 review.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say mine.
All right. All right. I just let me see if I can.
I don't think you can access it anymore.
Probably not. They should let you access it for more than like 2 days. It's fucked up. Oh, you? Oh, they don't have it. All right. I'm pretty sure I remember my top three.
I don't know. I only know
All
I know my top two because it's the same person.
right. All right. I know two of my top three, so that works out fine.
All right, we're gonna
All
say
right.
your number one on the.
My number one? No, we saved the number one. That's the good one.
Well, I only know my number one really. They're the same person.
I thought you said you knew your number two.
I said it was the same person. You just hear what you want to hear.
God damn it. All right. In third place for me was, I'm pretty sure it was ABBA and Preach.
Who?
Number two,
Who was it?
or ABBA and Preach. Do you not know who ABBA and Preach are?
I've never heard. Oh no. Oh yeah.
What? I'm blown away. Yours might be Philip DeFranco, I feel like.
Ooh, very close. That was my number. That was my number three.
Oh, okay.
That was my. I love Phil DeFranco.
ABBA, ABA.
It's right here. I got it.
Bro, you've never seen ABBA and Preach?
I've never seen ABBA and Preach.
Oh man, they beef with Fresh and Fit all the time.
That's awesome
They
because
just
I
clown
do
on.
not like Marlon. I do not like Fresh and Fit or Myron.
Oh, dude, they've been clown. That top video, what zero accountability looks like, is great. If you haven't heard the story, um, it's fire. Add it to your watch later or something right now.
Did done. I recognize them, but I know I've never watched them. All right.
Anyway,
Who's your number two?
let me just go through my like recent watches and I can probably crack it. Hold on. No, definitely wasn't them. Home. Give me one sec. I have to guesstimate it from my like history, but I bet you I can get pretty fucking close. Where's just my watch history? Fuck. I keep hitting subscriptions and all right. Like videos might be the close. There we go. History.
I don't want to go through my YouTube history and expose the world to
Yeah.
my searches.
My number two, I believe, was Red Letter Media.
Wow, I've never watched them
Movie
either.
review. They're fire. Some of their videos are better. Oh, you know what? That's a lie. It was Atrioc was my number two.
That's funny.
My numero uno. You've got to be able to guess this.
Yeah, Destiny.
Destiny, easily.
That's so
I'm
funny.
part of the Dalaban, baby. All right, who's your number one?
My number one
Yeah.
was Atrioc.
Whoa! Hey, there we go.
My number
There we
two
go.
was
Yeah.
Big A.
Okay.
I
So
don't
you were
know what
doing,
it was, but this year, dude, I was my main three channels I would check. Well, I would check the majority report every now and again, but my main three like YouTube consumers, things I would consume, apart from like the obvious like what's the Watch Mojo was typically up there for me.
Yeah.
But my main three I would wake up and look for in the day would be CoffeeZilla and Voidzilla,
Okay.
and then Atrioc, and I just this year I really fell off. I was a big Hassan and somewhat of a Asmongold. I had an interest in him as well, but now I don't watch them to enjoy them in the way I did before.
Yeah.
I now like the beef between the two, Asmongold's like continuous descent into madness and Hassan's denial of Kaya Gate.
Yeah. I Dogtober 7th is what we call it. in the biz.
October 7th is crazy.
You know what's crazy is that it actually happened on October
No,
7th.
it didn't.
It happened on the anniversary of October 7th, yeah.
Oh my god. There's been like so many people who've like faked it as well. Like it's brought up a
Yeah.
lot of like no names into the limelight just from like satirizing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, satirizing it, yeah.
doing a satire of it. I
just
found
side-
out I found out through a YouTube short that Sasha Grey has a platform where she streams, and she made fun of it as well.
Hell yeah, props to Sasha Grey. I actually like I've seen some of her.
Make it a comeback.
Yeah, spelled CUMBACK. No. I remember the first time I saw her streaming on like YouTube or something was probably like 5 years ago, and she had like a sizable audience. I was like, oh, yo, hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. She's one of
falling
seemingly
off. 5 years
she's
ago,
one of-
she's 1 million views. Her latest has 17K at the most, playing Arc Raiders.
Yeah, but she might have just gone viral for something. Look, she's probably still doing okay. Also,
I'm
like you gotta
sure she's
consider the difference between like YouTube and Twitch. So like YouTube views like are you're gonna get way more views on YouTube, but they're worth less than Twitch views in a sense because Twitch viewers tend to donate more and stuff.
Did you see Asmongold released his analytics between Kick and YouTube, or Kick and Twitch?
Now,
It was like for the same VOD from Twitch by ads, I think he was paid like 30K. And
Yeah.
then that same VOD off of Kick, he made $200,000.
Well, part of it is that I think he doesn't run ads on Twitch very often because like they hate him and he knows they hate him and he hates them at Twitch, like the Twitch management. So like he like openly brags about how he is a cost center for Twitch.
That's hilarious.
They spend more money like streaming his content than they do from any ad revenue from his channel because he just doesn't run ads.
Which is
But
awesome.
yeah, I believe that.
And that's why I don't understand him. How are you going to take care of your people by not running ads, but then just like find different cultures to be inferior?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Ooh, new Destiny video. The MAGA Civil War is here. That brings me to one last thing that I think we can close out. This is truly
okay.
a happy note.
Okay,
This is a truly happy note thing. So there's a video. I'll send you a clip. Shout out to Keith Edwards. It was on his YouTube channel. He kind of covered it, but there's just so many good clips in this. So there is a guy called Clavicular.
Oh, no. Oh,
So
my God.
Clavicular, for those of you who don't know, is a very popular, unfortunately, YouTuber who's really into looks maxing. So he believes that beauty is effectively next to godliness and that beautiful people, you know, get the most favors done for them and so on and so forth, and that being beautiful is all that matters. And so he's taking steroids, apparently possibly meth.
He also, I don't know, are you aware of his history of how he like structured his jawline?
No, but if you told me it was either plastic surgery or mewing or any of that, I would believe it.
What is mewing?
Mewing is where you hold your tongue to the top of your mouth for like hours at a time.
Oh,
to,
right,
like,
right. No, he beats himself with like this hammer.
Oh, okay. Fine. That checks out.
And like I forget, it's something to do with the bones where he would like consistently like break his bones in his face in order to build up their resilience.
Yeah. I believe it. So this guy, he actually got in trouble recently, very recently, because he hit someone with a car, and while other people were in the car with him, but he like ran someone over with a car, and was like didn't even stop, didn't look around. He was like just stone faced. They have him on video
saying that he wants them dead. And then someone in his posse was like in GTA, and he doubled down and said no in real life.
Yeah. Well, so what happened recently, aside from that, was he was on an interview, and I forget with who, but we'll include the link for the Keith Edwards video in the description for this, for the VOD or whatever. But he was getting interviewed by some like right wing guy, and he's like, look, I'm just going to say that JD Vance is a subhuman. He has a recessed orbital, and Gavin Newsom just mogs him all day. And so everyone's like, what the fuck are you saying? Because this guy's become like a darling of the right wing. So people are like freaking out. They're like, what do you mean? You'd vote for Gavin Newsom? He's like, Gavin Newsom.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not,
he's like, JD Vance is obese. He's subhuman. He doesn't have the charisma or whatever. And so a bunch of other right wingers have come out to defend him. Nick Fuentes came out and was like, yes, JD Vance is a subhuman. I would vote for Gavin over him.
That's so crazy.
Sneeko was awesome. Like,
that's so awesome.
Sneeko said, and I apologize in advance, this is a direct quote from him. He said, JD Vance is a subhuman. His wife is a Jeet, and she literally eats her own shit or something like that. Like, just crazy.
And then JD Vance cucked, like, he was like, I don't care that they said this, I still love them, trying to just like win favor,
which is sad. That's just sad
that like you can't find a common ground with people on the opposition party, but people in your same party who would like literally throw racial slurs at your wife, you're gonna sit here and
Yeah.
defend. That's
Well,
just utterly insane. That's
to be
absolute.
fair, I'm pretty sure he's banging Erica Kirk at this point. So, um, yeah.
That's why I love
Thank you for
AI.
joining us.
Is that where we're ending on? Oh, we ended.
fucking-
Oh my God, what are we doing? What are we doing? Our
I
subject
thought that
matter
was a
started
great
so
place.
strong. We started off with the Venezuelan war, and we ended with Sneeko and clavicular.
Yeah, yeah.
And Nick
we saved the best
Fuentes.
for last.
Oh my God, dude.
Well, we got distracted by the Israel-Palestine thing again a little bit, but
know.
we brought it back. We brought it back to our usual sunshine content.
You know what? You know what war is going on right now that's like not being televised, and I only know of it because I work with people who are dealing with it directly. Did you know Thailand and Cambodia are at war right now?
I had no idea.
Thailand is beating the shit out of Cambodia right now.
Ah. Should I be rooting for them? I feel like Thailand is relatively tight with us. That might just be because we have a lot of sex tourism there.
I think so too. I think that's like their number one. That's like the bulk of their GDP is sex tourism.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, you know what? I'm about it. Let's go Thailand.
No,
I don't
we
know
absolutely
anything about
should.
Cambodia.
We absolutely should. I mean, we can stop at Cambodia along the way, but obviously the destination is Thailand for research.
yeah.
For research.
I said let's go Thailand, but I will go to Thailand.
Oh, I thought you
with
said we should go to Thailand, which I was.
No. I was just taking a side in the war that I know nothing about. but I'll go there with you. We should go there for research.
No, I think Thailand is the bad guys in this situation. I think they are the Russia.
Ooh,
I think.
all right,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
fairly certain that they like. I think like, what's the GDP of Cambodia?
I don't know, dude. You act like I know that cold.
46 billion. What's the GDP of Thailand? 515 billion. Yeah,
Okay, so Thailand's the underdog, right?
Thailand is 515 billion. They are.
Oh, they're the big one.
They're the big
my
one.
bad.
Thailand's 515 billion. Cambodia's 46 billion.
Okay.
And secondhand, without doing much research myself, it's my understanding that Thailand has like murdered Cambodians and then tried to blame it on the Cambodians. We'll next week I'll be more.
Yeah. We got to do some research. There's probably some nuance here.
Absolutely, but that'll be the subject matter for next time.
All right. Sounds like a plan. It was a pleasure speaking with you, big dog.
As always.
To anyone who sees this, we love you. We cherish you.
We should open up like a call line. I wish it wasn't so risque because people constantly try to add me on Discord, and I feel like it's one of the new age scams that I'm not aware of, so I don't add them.
Yeah.
But like whenever I get a bot in my Twitch chat, their first subject matter is trying to get my Discord. And I'm scared of opening Pandora's box. I don't want to give them what they want because they're clearly a bot, and there's obviously some means of using that against me.
Yeah, maybe we'll set up a burner Discord or something so we can have people call in, you know?
Smart. You should do that.
Yeah.
And we'll use your IP address.
I'll look into it, yeah.
All right, gang. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. That was a fun one. A little all over the place, but we honed it in at the end, as we always do.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining. Love, peace, and procreate. Remember, every day you wake up is a good day, and we will see you next time on the Sunshine Show.
Much love. Peace.
Peace. All right, I stopped the recording. Are you still here?